guys are aware, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has been a hardcore battlefield regarding the culture war, and you have all possible sides trying to either defend or hate this game, or some people that are quite frankly in the middle regarding this game. And now we have an example of what happens when a game is taken over by the culture war in a way that the developers don't necessarily want. We have an article here from PC Gamer that says Kingdom Come Deliverance 2's developer is fed up of being dragged into the culture war. It seems like someone is always trying to brand us somehow, and we are just trying to make a cool video game. Well, here's the thing. The ironic part about all of this is that you may be fed up about being dragged into the culture war, but to be honest with you, Daniel Vavra over on X is partaking in the culture war every single day with some of his comments that are obviously going to inflame some people. He partakes in this every single day, so you really shouldn't be complaining that the culture war is here for your video game. Now, most of you guys already know where I stand regarding Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and RPGs in general, so we don't need to rehash that. You can agree with me, you could disagree with me. I don't care. You have that right. You are an adult, and I will treat you as an adult, unlike some lefties that will make you want to bend the knee to their ideology. I'm all for people disagreeing with me or agreeing with me. It doesn't matter. But when it comes to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and the way the developers are handling the game, I think there is some criticism that can be had here. So let's get into this article, guys, from PC Gamer. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. The medieval RPG is much more interested in a different kind of war, one with trebuchets and swords, of course. So it says history rhymes. It's not repeating itself, it rhymes. Warhorse's global PR manager Tobias is paraphrasing an aphorism often attributed to Mark Twain, though its origins are actually unknown. He is bemoaning the fact that once again the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 studio has found itself embroiled in the exhausting culture war. Okay, so if you are the PR manager, then I feel like a lot of this probably falls on your shoulders for allowing your developers, allowing your studio to even start partaking in what would be considered the culture war, right? When people start calling you out for certain things, they're calling you out for a reason. And a lot of the reasons has to be with the fact that there is people at your studio that have said that XYZ character is straight, 100% guaranteed that that is his story, that is who he is, that is who Henry is, and then come to find out that he is now able to be optionally gay in this RPG, which again, me personally, I have no problems with RPGs giving you options. I've never had that problem. If you don't understand that after watching my videos, then I don't really know what to tell you at this point. You might have a false idea. Who really knows? But I can also understand where people are like, okay, well, this character is canonically straight, right? For the most part, we've seen him be canonically straight for the entirety of the first game, and now suddenly he's just what, gonna magically accidentally land on a dick? Like, of course people are gonna be quite upset about that. So people then started to question Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 developers, and as a PR manager, I would have hoped that you would have put out some sort of an official statement, but instead you have your developers, especially Daniel Vavra, out there going at people and basically going at them head on, which I respect, don't get me wrong, but it's not actually going to take you out of the culture war at that point, right? You should have just made one official statement, a truthful official statement, because you guys gaslit in the beginning and then you got found out to be lying about that, especially about the whole banning in Saudi Arabia and all that. It's just been a clusterfuck. So as a PR manager, you're doing a bad job, is what I'm basically saying. As a PR manager, you should have been controlling what's happening a lot better than you actually have been. But in any case, in 2017, before the launch of the first Kingdom Come Deliverance, the game caught some flack from critics who questioned its lack of people of color, and if that was truly historically accurate. This prompted some genuinely interesting discussions about medieval Europe and its portrayal, but it also saw battle lines being drawn. Some wrote the game off as ahistorical, overly homogenous view of Chechnya, while others rushed to its defense and celebrated it for pushing back the woke agenda. And this was all before most people had even played it. Game director Daniel Vavra's support for Gamergate only served to fuel the flames. That's also another thing too. People tend to forget that Daniel Vavra was in support of the initial Gamergate. So that's why a lot of the anti-woke crowd were latching on to what he was saying as gospel and this game essentially as gospel, because they thought that this was going to be some, I don't know, no gay, no black role-playing fantasy. I really don't know what the thought was regarding this game, to be honest with you, but it's there. Then it launched and most people agreed that it was actually pretty great. It wasn't some scholarly project that gave us 100% accurate portrayal of Bohemia, and there was some valid criticisms about how it presented. For instance, human mercenaries stories are as evil, barbaric marauders, but otherwise it was fun, flavorful, and often fascinating romp around the countryside. To characterize it as anti-woke champion, refusing to be censored was patently ludicrous, but the label remained. I think people were ultimately hoping that since Daniel Vavra did support the initial Gamergate, I think they were hoping that this game was going to be the ultimate anti-woke fantasy, whatever that may be. And I truly believe that there are different versions of anti-woke now at this point. There are different factions. Anti-woke for some people means anti-choice, right? And they'll swear, they'll bemoan, they'll cry, they'll go crazy on Twitter, and they'll say, no, I'm okay with the choice. I just don't want it forced upon me. And then when you tell them, well, it's not being forced upon you, it's a choice, you're like, well, it's in the game, so it's being forced upon me. Like, no, that's not the case. You can't say don't force it upon me, and then when a game says, okay, we're not going to force it upon you, it's an option that you don't have to partake in, you then cannot go on Twitter and say, well, no, it's in the game, so thus it's woke. Like, no, that's not how it works, bro. You guys got to really pick your lanes and battle the proper battles. Anyway, now the same crowd that pretended to care about historical accuracy have turned on Warhorse, all because Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 features an optional gay romance and a larger array of non-white, non-Christian characters, while the studio continues to use the expertise of its in-house historian, Joanna Nowak, and is just as obsessed with historical authenticity as before. Now it's apparently been pressured into becoming woke by a shadowy cabal of evil leftists. Scary. Well, people, you need to understand why people think that, right? So the studio has been confirmed to be supported by certain ESG groups, right? Vanguard being one of them. Vanguard is the number 9 supporter on the list of supporters and investors in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So I need you guys to understand why people would probably be a little bit upset or a little bit leery or a little bit scared, right? Over the fact that that is a thing. That's the truth. Even if it's 3%, it doesn't matter. 3% comes at a cost, and that cost could be one optional black character that, you know, doesn't really fit, or one gay optional scene that some people are going to be angry about, especially since it's considered to be a canonically straight character for the entire time of the first game that suddenly just magically fell on a dick. Of course, people are going to be upset about that, and they have a right to be. It is, of course, laughable, or would be if it hadn't inspired an outpouring of bigotry and abuse. Oh, shut up. All because some folks are just trying to make a video game. Several years ago, we were branded differently, says Stolz. Now we are branded that way. It seems like someone is always trying to brand us somehow, and we are just trying to make a cool video game. He's adamant there is no agenda here, just video game developers doing their job. Developers who are now pretty fed up of being dragged into someone else's war. We're definitely not the problem, adds senior game designer Bittner. We think the extreme voices are just never happy. Now, I would say that that's true. I think the extreme voices on both sides are never happy. I think at this point, you're going to have the people that want all of this forced upon you, which are the lefties, right? And you're going to have people on the other side, the extremists, usually the zealots, unfortunately, who are going to say, well, no, we don't want the choice being optional at all. We don't want to even have it in the game, period. We want censorship. That's basically what it is, right? So you have both sides trying to advocate for the hardcore, and then the majority of gamers that are in the middle saying, okay, is there truly an agenda here, or is this just optional at the end of the day? However, I do not want to downplay the fact that, yes, Henry was canonically straight in the first game. People have a right to be angry about that. People have a right to be upset that the option of even potentially falling on a dick is there in the game, especially with who he apparently is allowed to romance. I found that out. I'm not going to spoil it in this video, but it doesn't make any sense in my opinion based off that person being a womanizer himself. But anyway, that's besides the point. So 2 canonically straight characters in the first game suddenly just magically want to fuck each other in the ass. It's a little bit odd to me, and I would say that that is pretty close to being agenda driven. But again, if it's optional and it's an RPG, which it is optional, at this point, I'm going to chalk it up to an option that's really fucking stupid. That's what I'm going to chalk it up to. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.